Hey, it's meteorologist Cory Reppenhagen here with the 9 News Weather Impact Team, taking a look at your forecast. And it is a hot one and a dry one and a windy one out there on the western slopes. So the high heat is on its way, building up there today. We could make a run at a record high temperature here in Denver, which is 99 degrees. Temperature still rising very quickly, so we do have a shot at that today. And out on the western slope, it's hot out there as well, but the concern there is low humidity and gusty winds. So after a couple of days where the firefight was pretty in favor of the firefighters as far as the weather conditions go, the weather is now going to turn against the firefighters again today and especially tomorrow. So let's take a look outside right now at a couple of areas here. A view from Akron. The town of Akron, you can see off in the distance there a little bit of haze, and the more distance you get between your eyes and another object, the more smoke you're going to see in between there. So that just a hazy wildfire smoke continuing to move across the area. It should get a little bit thicker tomorrow and the next day as the winds start to push that smoke back towards the Front Range. Here in Denver, you can see a few clouds starting to show up in the area, and we'll get a few thunderstorms to build, and we'll even get some rain to fall out of those storms. The problem is we have a very dry layer underneath, so most of that precipitation will evaporate, creating very gusty winds. So we won't see too much in the way of rain. A couple of us might feel a few drops make it to the ground, but mostly very gusty winds. So current temperatures here at 2 o'clock were 97 at the 9 News studios in downtown Denver. So we'll probably hit 99 here, if not maybe a 100. But out at Denver International Airport, where our official weather station is, it's always a little bit cooler there, so we could make it up to about 97 or 98. The record is certainly possible. Like when you look at the modeling probabilities, 97 and 98 had virtually the same probability today, and 99 was very close by. So that record of 99 set back in 2007 is a possibility here as we go through the next 3 hours, maybe 3.5 hours, because we still build heat until about 5:30, and that's when we start to turn the corner. Fire conditions, so the weather is turning against the firefighters again. We have red flag warnings across the western slope, and that does include the fire zones. 30-mile-per-hour winds today and 10 to 15% humidity. That humidity is going to drop tomorrow, and we're also looking at 40-mile-per-hour winds. So the winds will be a little bit stronger tomorrow, and we're expecting quite a rash of dry lightning storms across the entire western slope and the mountains. So on top of everything, we'll have to watch for new fire starts, because that's what most of our fires this year have been started by dry lightning. And so what this does for firefighters is they've been kind of taking an offensive mode the last couple of days. It changes the way that they operate now with these fire weather warnings in place. They have to more go towards a defensive strategy for the next couple of days, which allows for fire spread and fire growth. And that fire weather warning today is the 18th fire weather warning so far for the month of August, and we're only 13 days in. So that is a record by a couple already. The previous record of 15 set in 2023 and 2012, those were pretty dry and windy months of August in those years, but this is unprecedented what we're seeing this year, and we usually don't see these in the month of August. When you look at all the fire weather warnings issued over time here in the state of Colorado, August has the third least fire weather warnings, because it's not a windy month typically. We don't get a lot of wind in August. And we're usually still in a monsoon, which allows a little bit more moisture. Humidity levels are higher. And the monsoon failure this year, although it's about to kick in a little bit next week, is just been the main factor in why we are having such an unprecedented fire weather season here in the really all the last few months, but particularly the month of August, which is super unusual. So the forecast for today, as we go from 2 o'clock on, you'll see these thunderstorms start to build. You may see some rain falling out of them, but you may not feel very much rain because it'll mostly evaporate. And when we have that evaporative conversion from the liquid to the gas, so when you go from actual water to water vapor, there's an energy conversion there, and it releases latent heat, and you get wind. And so we are expecting up to 50-mile-per-hour wind gusts underneath these thunderstorms today on the Front Range. And as you can see, they're kind of, in our area at least, kind of isolated to the Front Range. Eastern plains may stay fairly clear as far as cloud cover goes for today. And then your forecast for tomorrow, as we get into Thursday, it will crank up the heat even higher, a better chance to hit 100 across the Front Range. That is the forecast in Greeley. Also out in Fort Morgan and Sterling, we'll see some hundreds on the board tomorrow. Another hot day on the western slope, 93 in Meeker with low humidity and those wind gusts up there in the 40-mile-per-hour range. So as far as Denver goes, we kind of like to track our heat by 90-degree days. Not to say that 89 degrees is not hot, but once you get into the 90s, it really does make a difference. And today is the 39th 90-degree day so far this summer. That's the 8th of August. So we're projected to hit about 57 of them by the end of September, and on average we are at 46. So we're easily going to break above average. Hopefully not near a record. It all kind of depends on September, because in the month of September, on average, we get between 4 and 8 days. So if September ends up being a real torch and we get 10 or more, we could be making a run at that record. Here's the futurecast. Look at some modeling here for Thursday. Thursday afternoon, we're going to see quite a few scattered thunderstorms across the western slope and the mountains. Looks like a good scenario, right? Because we need rain, but these are actually going to be dry thunderstorms, which means there will be less than 1/10 of an inch of rain that comes out of these storms, but it will include lightning. So that's dry lightning. Also, the wind gust that's created under these storms, no good for any fire situation, especially the ones that are currently burning, and really any that get started during these dry lightning strikes. So we could see a few of those along the Front Range as well. So dry, gusty thunderstorms again possible as we go into the day tomorrow. The wildfire smoke, we saw the haze on a couple of those cameras today. You can see it out there mainly when you're looking at a distance, you're looking at a bigger swath of area, so you can see the haze out there. Like for instance, if you're out in the eastern part of the metro looking back towards the mountains, you may have a hard time seeing the foothills in the mountains like you normally do. That's just that haze. Now, over the next couple of days, the wind will push it more towards the Front Range. So on Thursday morning, when you wake up tomorrow, we could see a little bit thicker smoke as a larger, thicker plume goes through the area, but it's still another day where the southern half of Colorado will be the main focus of those smoky conditions. And then on Friday morning, you'll see that it kind of gets pushed up towards the north. So Friday might be our smokiest day here on the Front Range, and most of this smoke is coming from those Colorado wildfires. Quick look at your 7-day forecast here. You see those next couple of hot days, Thursday and Friday. All next week will be in the 90s. Really, the 90s will carry into about Friday or even Saturday of next week. But looks like the maximum temperatures in that range are going to be about the 95. So we're looking at middle 90s and low 90s for the next several days. But at least there's a couple of rain chances in there this weekend and to start next week. So that's a look at your forecast. Thank you for watching, and I hope you all have a real nice day.